Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to clarify this. And we have to understand how this meditation can bring the clarity to ourselves. So this is a kind of like a method, purify ourselves. It's refining our thoughts. And when it comes to that, why we have to refine our thought, why we have to clear our mind, because from this life and even through this samsaric journey, we accumulated a lot of informations. And out of that informations, we develop a connection. So we always into something with the desires to become somebody, or maybe with ideas towards something. And because of that, what happens, we neglect, we disconnect from its very being or the reality ourselves. So through the meditation, it develops your awareness, cultivate your awareness, and it will help you to settle down in the moment and recognize how things come to be as they are within your own perception. But still, the current we already developed through the journey, through our life history, is so strong. So as you know, that the people always like to keep the connection. And we say normally, keep in touch. So in the ancient time, people used the roads to keep in touch. And then after the road, they build up the railroad to keep in touch. And after the railroad, the people start to develop this wiring system, telephone wiring system, and internet even. From the beginning, it was with the wires. And still there are a lot of places use the wires to get the connection. And then we came to little by little now wireless. Now it's kind of like a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It's all developed the connection to keep in touch each other. So by the time what will happen, this all the machines going to disappear, the hologram that the people start to appear, and then we still try to develop the keep in touch method. So why we have to keep in touch? Because we are very disconnected from ourselves. When we are disconnected from us, we always like to connect to something else outside. So the meditation is a method that brings us the ability to ourselves to keep in touch with us. So that comes out of the recognition or the awareness with the reality. Reality means that what you experience in the moment, what you experience with your environment, what you gain through your perception, who you are already, how you became like this, that is your reality. So when it comes to that, this method called this tipping point. So the tipping point means little things come together, and then by the time it's going to bring a bigger impact. Suddenly, all the little things start to bring a bigger impact. So our life always experienced that. If you look very carefully, little thoughts through the journey that we came, we accumulated knowingly or unknowingly. And habits, patterns, wanting, desires. So those are kind of like mental formations. Those are kind of like a foundation for our life today. And we depending on that. And at the same time, we keep continue with our bodily, verbally, mentally actions. We do little things. But by the time what happened, the impact becomes so big. So as example, just imagine, maybe during the day, you start to eat little candy, or maybe cookies. But by the time one day when you visit the doctor, and maybe the doctor can, the mention to you, oh, your cholesterol or your sugar level is so high. So it didn't happen overnight. So but your little action accumulated certain kind of reaction, and then by the time it become bigger. Once it become bigger, it's very difficult to reverse. There is a possibility, but it is very difficult. It takes time. So in day-to-day life, what happened? We have the habit to accumulate, hold, gain, harbor, clinging with the little things. You're not going to get the whole world at one time. It's little things. So when you have that nature, by the time what happened as an impact, your desires going to become so higher, and then by the time it's going to blow out. Suddenly it start to come out. When it come out, it come with some other things. So now we recognize the mechanism and we use a different method to reverse the pattern. So we start the same way. Now you know the mind work little by little. So then we go with the little by little to settle down with the moment rather than little by little go outside. So breath by breath, observing your inhalation, exhalation as it is. And when you observe it, it is a kind of like you have to develop a method to neutralize your point of view. Otherwise, another way, like your mental lens. You don't put your mental lens with the ideas, thoughts, concept, judgments, and you're not trying to verbalize your experience. You neutralize that all the mental activities. By neutralizing that mental activities, you observe the inhalation as inhalation, exhalation as exhalation as it is. So that is the method. Is simply you have to start step by step and practice. So once you come to that, what happened that, as I mentioned, you have the nature to go outside and grab and hold, harbor. Now that's going to become a kind of like a resistance, and then the certain kind of turbulence can happen. It's okay. That should be there. There's nothing wrong with that. Take it, handle it. You can do that. So that's where you need the certain kind of effort and the intention to practice. So, and at the same time, now you know the method, and then you slowly start to develop it. So when it comes to that, we have another way that the mind behaves repeating things. Remember, a lot of people say this repeating is bad thing. But when it comes to, we all, until we attaining to the liberation, or if we become an unreturner, so if we develop the first absorption, second absorption, third absorption, fourth absorption, so it is, if we come to that level, it is okay. But still we are just ordinary people, as you know, history repeat, look at the world, and season come back again and again. Even it is not the same, but we know there is a repetition happen in the environment and at the same time with our nature. So what we should do, so this is the thing, that just imagine when it comes to our body, every day we clean our body, we take a shower, we take a bath, we clean our body. So every day we do it. And again, it's a kind of like a repetition, but still we keep cleaning it. So this is the method in the beginning, as a very in this very conventional life, what we need to do. Don't resist the repetition. If you can completely start a new way, it is good, but it is very difficult for us. Sometimes our inner character, behavior, our thought patterns, it's start to keep coming. So then what you need to do if there is a repetition? So this is what you need to do. Remember from today, it's nothing wrong with repeating. If you are capable to repair it, but without repairing, don't repeat. Because if without repairing, if you repeat, what will happen? You're going to have difficulties. So look at the vehicles or any machines, anything. Our body, we repair. So then we use, maybe we come back to it. So this is in a conventional life with your bodily, verbally, mentally actions. If you repeat something, remember yourself to repair it. So when you repair yourself, it becomes more better and clean. So with that, you can, when you repeat it, it's not going to be the same. And then by the time You become more and more and more advanced yourself to understand the inner pattern. Then by the time you cannot stop it. So otherwise, that just repeating doesn't work. And when you come to that observation, what happens? You start to understand the pattern, the method of the mind, the behavior, environment. That is very necessary. Understanding ourselves, recognizing, because that is what giving the power to yourself, to see yourself, to see others, and see things very clearly as it is, without adding some extra information. Is another way you get the clear perception. And so once you have that, you use the same word, but it's going to become so different. So I give an example for that. You know, it's like this. If you don't have that repairing system, if you don't have that understanding, clarity, it's kind of like that everything kind of like a noise. There's a sound. But once you have the repairing system and understanding, and you gain the clarity to yourself and regarding the perception, you know it now better, your awareness more clear, and then it becomes kind of like the music. See, the noise and the music, the same sound, but it's the different from the music is it's composed and it has a discipline, it has a more developed pattern, knowingly, and bringing some kind of intention to that noise, and you change the pattern. So don't be just the noise and become kind of like the music in the beginning, in a very conventional life. When you attend to the enlightenment, you become just the noise. It is, but it becomes the more clear, high vibrate frequency. But still in this ordinary life, don't just be a noise. In the beginning, try to develop your life as a music. So that's the self-discipline, understanding, the clarity, recognition, those kind of things. So it is help you to have the inner development. And once you have it, you develop, now your clarity is more higher, your awareness is more better, and you have the undisturbed mind. Another way we call it kind of like a tranquility state, one pointness, and you are more with the self-centered personal view, you are more neutral, and you come to direct perception. So once you come to that, what happens? Then when you experience things, you have ability to go beyond the surface level of the name and form. And then you understand the very causation of the event. So the causation that it's kind of like this, that everything, it dependently related events happening, the bound by cause and conditions. Dependently related events happens bound by cause and effect conditions always. Then that what you see as one, that it's not going to be one, something that kind of like a permanent one. as example like this. Okay, let's go to the pen. So we take the pen, and this we say take as a one thing. But this one thing appeared as a dependently related events bound by cause and conditions. So we take this as a pen. So then everybody understands it. Oh, you can tell, or bring a pen. You know, this is a pen. So everybody, we take it as something one. But if you go more deeper, when you have the clarity, you're not going to bound to this surface level of one thing. And then you recognize this is a piece of iron. And it is a completely different event. And it has its own cause and conditions bound by its own nature. And then this is a spring. And it also has a different kind of its own related conditions. It's nothing to do with this is not the pen, and it's nothing to do with the other part. This separate, but still it also has its own cause and conditions. And then this is plastic, and with the ink. So if we go to the inside the ink, it is completely different event bound by its own cause and conditions separately. And as you know, it is more liquid. And it's nothing to do with iron. And then this plastic, piece of plastic. So as you know, it's nothing to do with the ink. The plastic, it has its own way of cause and conditions, bound by cause and conditions. It is a separate event. And then, so there are more other plastic and ions, and separately we can't take it out. If I take it out, maybe I can't put it back. So that's enough for now. And then, but still this anything separately, we can't take as a pen. So, and at the same time, if it is independently exist, the pen that we mentioned not going to happen. So then what happened? These all depend each other and related to some kind of certain event. So that's a writing. That's the outcome that's going to happen out of this pen. So then we put this thing together. It's cannot do in this way. If I put it this way, it doesn't happen. So it's bound by the cause and conditions. So, and then I can't put the spring to inside, and I have to put it exactly to the right place that it should be. That's mean it also, even though it's a spring, the plastic, the iron, the ink, and when we put this together, that dependently related, that the cause and conditions bringing the outcome, this all together should be as one. That bring the name of the name and the form of the pen. So now once we put together, if I put it in the right way, it should happen. If otherwise, it's not going to happen. So that's mean that the related cause and condition didn't work properly. I didn't put it, but I hope, see, now you can write. So we take this as the pen, but that's all the parts inside this separately work, but it all dependent for this event. In this entire universe, the same. So whatever that each and everything seen, unseen, this all the material things the same. And when it comes to that material, we can understand it. But that materially, that the physically what you understand will help you by the time to get into your mind. Because whatever the thought that you have, just imagine when you drive on freeway, you see a new kind of like a billboard, something. And then right away you say, oh, I like that. Whatever it is there, you say, I like it. So it is maybe it's just a sentence, just a thought. But that thought, like you say, a pen, it is just a pen. Like that thought come as a result of dependently related events bound by cause and conditions. So one pop-up. It's a kind of like a tipping point. So one action is a tipping point. One thought is a tipping point. Behind that, there is a huge history. So when you observe the mind step by step, by the time you are capable to go a little bit backward. And when you go backward, you start to recognize the cause and conditions. So that recognition itself will help you to understand there is nothing appear as permanent, independent entity exist itself. And then you see when things appear, even now we understand materially, but with the insight, when things appear as feelings, thoughts, desires, this everything, when it appear in your mind, you know it bound by something. And when you know that, what happens? You're not going to hold it to that outcome, or you're not going to hold it to that tipping point. You know there is a background. So then you become more aware about the background. And that understanding itself is kind of like a emptiness. It's kind of like a nothingness. As example, this pen, even though we take this as a pen, once you know it bound by dependently related events that related to cause and condition, and we know there is no such a permanent thing as a pen. Even though it appears in this very conventional level, this is not going to be permanent. So same thing with the self also. This body is not the hands, not the body, head, not the body, leg, not the body, your lungs, liver, kidney, hearts, small intent, that is all these inner organs. This nothing is one itself, not the body. But when this everything come together, you name it as the body. So same thing with the thoughts. Your just thought is not you, because you know itself there are some kind of history. So, but in day-to-day life, we represent self from our body, from our name, from our feelings, from our thoughts. Those are the kind of like ambassadors that representing self-centered view. But now you know those are part of it. And once you know that, the heaviness of the self going to become release. And that heaviness release, the itself, your power of awareness going to become more clear. And that clarity bring the understanding yourself to recognize, see how things come to be as they are. So that when you have that clarity with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind perception, you have the clarity regarding the world. Because your world means what you perceive through your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. That's your world. So once you know that things, how it came to be as it is, then you know that. So this is the process, but you have to go step by step, little by little. So we start from our own inhalation, exhalation, and little by little keep observe. And then in that observation, you have to remember to neutralize your mental view and observe and connect it to the reality and be with it and see it as it is. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and observe head to toes yourself and say Swapateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And recognize it through the sensation. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma anudhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribundissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vangotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless.